Breaking news story by the New York Times indicates that Donald Trump wanted the Justice Department to investigate and prosecute Hillary Clinton and James Comey, two political rivals, two political enemies. And he was advised by his counsel, Don McGahn, to not go forward with this for a number of different reasons. So according to the Times, Trump told White House counsel in the spring that he wanted to order the Justice Department to prosecute both Hillary Clinton and James Comey. Don McGahn rebuffed the president, saying that he had no authority to order a prosecution. McGahn said that while he would request an investigation, that too could prompt accusations of abuse of power. And also to underscore his point, McGahn had White House lawyers write a memo for Trump warning him that if he asked law enforcement to prosecute both Clinton and Comey, it could lead to calls for impeachment. Now, it's unclear whether or not Trump ever read that memo, but the president apparently, according to anonymous sources, has continued to privately discuss the matter, including the possible appointment of a second special counsel to investigate both Clinton and Comey. And again, this is according to two people who have spoken to Trump about the issue. Also, it's not clear what type of charges Trump would want investigated. Like, what is he charging? What does he want investigated? Why would he want them prosecuted? What we do know through his past statements is that Trump has accused Comey without evidence of illegally having classified information shared with reporters. So that's a possibility. But either way, this is a very clear abuse of power. And to know that there was only one person here who was his counsel, Don McGahn, preventing him from doing this is terrifying.
Look, some folks still at this late date don't get it. They think, well, you have a conversation about, well, who would replace him? Would Mike Pence be better or worse? No. I'm sorry. If you believe that, you're not understanding the gravity of the situation. Mike Pence is a Republican and a conservative that we wholeheartedly disagree with. He's terrible on policy and goes after communities that we care so much about, LGBT community, and I would argue many others, et cetera. And he might be more effective in trying to get laws that we disagree with passed, et cetera. But that's not the point. Mike Pence, for all those ailments, is not a threat to democracy. Donald Trump is a core threat to our form of government. He believes that, I told you from day one, that he would lock up his political opponents without a second thought. And whenever I tell people, whether it's on the show or it's in person, they're like, oh, reactionary stuff, that's crazy. No, you think that's crazy because you would never do that. And it's totally outside of your perspective. And you don't know anyone else who would do that. Become president and then start locking up political opponents. But you don't understand Donald Trump. He doesn't know or care about our government at all. So like the court just told him today, hey, there's a law that says asylum seekers must get a court hearing. He's like, yeah, I don't care about the law. I don't want him to have a court hearing. I just want to send him back without a court hearing. What do we need courts for? How many times has he said that and attacked judges? Because he doesn't believe in our form of government. There's only one thing he believes in, Donald Trump. What's best for Donald Trump? And again, I've been telling you guys things that the thick-headed people in a lot of Washington still don't get. The guy's a crook. He's always been a crook. You think a crook isn't gonna try to do a cover-up? What do you think he's gonna do? Oh no, you got me. Mueller, you got me, just lock me up. Yeah, I've been dealing with the Russians, I've been doing money laundering, I've been doing this and that, and I did obstruction of justice. You think he's just gonna go willingly, Donald Trump? No, he's gonna try to arrest everyone in his path. He's gonna try to use and abuse his power in every way. I told you he would do it. And then one more thing, Don McGahn left. Now, he had an incredible job as the president's lawyer, and everybody treated it, and this is what drives me crazy about the rest of the press. You think they're tough on Donald Trump? They're not nearly tough enough. Don McGahn walks out of a dream job representing the president of the United States of America. You think he just walked out because he felt like it? No, I told you he walked out because he thought, I gotta get out of here. This guy's crazy and I don't wanna go to prison with him. I don't wanna be associated with this guy. He walked away from as a lawyer, arguably the best job you could possibly have, because the guy doesn't believe in democracy. He was looking to immediately lock up his political opponents.
And not only does he not believe in democracy, he doesn't believe in the rule of law. And that's become clear in the way that he perceives the Justice Department, the Attorney General. These are supposed to be independent individuals who don't specifically work for the president, who actually look out for the best interests of the country, who abide by the law, who want to uphold the law. But Donald Trump sees them as personal attorneys, personal lawyers, nothing more than that. And that's not the role that they're supposed to serve. Another part of this story that I thought was pretty interesting is how Trump has been encouraged by some of the talking heads that you would typically find on Fox News. So why is it that Trump is now, not just now, but has been looking to prosecute Clinton and Comey? Well, according to the Times, some of his more vocal supporters stirred his anger, including Fox News commentator Jeanine Pirro, who has railed repeatedly on her weekly show that the president is being ill-served by the Justice Department. Okay, so apparently Judge Jeanine Pirro doesn't understand how rule of law works or how our government works, because again, the Justice Department is not there to serve the president. The Justice Department is here to serve our justice system and uphold our Constitution and uphold the rule of law. Pirro told Trump in the Oval Office last November that the Justice Department should appoint a special counsel to investigate the Uranium One deal. Two people briefed on the discussion have said during that meeting, the White House Chief of Staff John Kelly told Pirro she was inflaming an already vexed president.
Yeah, and so this is how fascism begins. It's not a hyperbole, not remotely a hyperbole. You think that in Nazi Germany, they immediately started the death camps? No, they built up to it. And what did they do? They said, well, there was a fire and it's a national emergency. We have to make sure that we get the people responsible for this. Let's lock up our political opponents. Then let's lock up the press, because they're the enemy of the people. And then, hey, I'm not going to invade nearby countries because I'm greedy and I want to take them over. I'm doing it to protect the ethnic Germans that are in there. I had to do it for the nation because I'm a nationalist. That's literally what they said. So here's a guy saying, I'm a nationalist. The enemy of the people is the press, who is trying to tell you what I'm up to. And what do I need? I need a reason to lock up my political opponents? God damn it, that's inconvenient. All right, let's come up with something. What is it, uranium? What does uranium have to do with anything when Hillary Clinton is not in power at all? That was a deal that was done however many years ago. And just think about this for a second. He wants to prosecute Hillary Clinton and James Comey, but he wants to do absolutely nothing about the Saudi crown prince who ordered the execution of a Washington Post journalist, who not only ordered his execution, who essentially orchestrated the dismemberment of his body using a bone saw. So there is no end to the hypocrisy. If you cared about the issues and you said, all right, look, uranium is really valuable to America and we can't give it away. He just privatized some of the federal land so they could extract uranium out of there because they're his donors. Come on, why don't you arrest your own donors? Okay, how about the issue of, well, I mean, he's saying, oh, Hillary Clinton, no, I gotta get her on the private emails. I mean, she used a private email server. Today, in the news, his own daughter, Ivanka Trump, used a private email in a very similar way to Hillary Clinton. Are you gonna also lock her up? No, because you don't care about the law. You don't care about the substance. You care about how do I put people opposed to me in prison so they can't politically oppose me. The guy, the fact that this is controversial is, it goes to show you unfortunately, the heart of what's, look, the mainstream media does sometimes great work. New York Times revealed the story. Okay, so great job in getting that source and revealing it. I don't want to overstate that. On the other hand, when you say this is the beginning of fascism and people go, oh, wait a minute. Well, I mean, he's locking up your political opponents, the beginning of fascism? Yes, that is the beginning of fascism. That's textbook fascism. That is who he is. So when we talk about getting him out of office, it's not because we're politically opposed to him. I couldn't stand George W. Bush or Dick Cheney. I yelled about that for 8 years straight. But did we ever say, hey, you know what? You should lock them up and you should get rid of them, get rid of Bush, and I don't care if Cheney's president. Nobody said that. Nobody said that. That's not the point. The point is, this guy is a danger to our country and our form of government. So look, even so, you can't just say, okay, we're just gonna vote him out. That's not how it works. So we have to wait for Mueller's report. If there is law breaking that is revealed there, they have to take action. Because if you don't take action at that point, what you're telling him is free pass. Go ahead, arrest anyone you like, break any law you like, there'll be no check on you at all.
Cenk, who do you expect to do something about this? Like, honestly answer the question. It's not meant to be a rhetorical question. Who's supposed to actually do something about this? Republicans have shown that they will tuck tail and do anything that Trump wants them to do. And even when they're so-called never Trumpers, like so-called Jeff Flake, right? He'll talk a big talk, but he'll always vote with Trump. He'll go ahead and support him in anything he wants to do. At the same time, on the Democratic side, you have Nancy Pelosi calling for bipartisanship immediately after Democrats take hold of the House of Representatives. Like, who do you expect to do anything about this?
So, I mean, look, God help us with the Democrats, because she promised up and down immediately that there wouldn't be impeachment. Why? Doesn't it depend? I just told you, despite the fact that I think he's a threat to democracy, you can't just say I'm gonna impeach him because I don't like him, or even because he's a threat to democracy. There has to be some sort of law breaking. But so that it depends on whether he broke the law. But if he did break the law, why would you say that you're not going to impeach him? What a bizarre thing to say. So that's like saying, hey, I'm the opposition party will get you a get out of jail free card based on no facts. It's insanity. Look, my guess is that Democrats will change their minds and they'll be forced to by the polling, the American people. So that's your answer. And you might say it's a stretch. It depends on how bad it is. There's only two things that can make a difference here. State prosecutors, because then Donald Trump cannot pardon himself, his family members, and members of his team. He doesn't care about members of his team. They can get arrested all day long, and they have been arrested all day long. He doesn't care at all about them. The only thing he cares about is himself and some of his kids, okay? So state prosecutors can go after him on that. And then the second thing is, even if you say, hey, a sitting president can't be indicted, if the information is clear enough and the polling is disastrous enough, the Republicans just saw that they lost already 37 seats in the House. You think they want to lose another 37 in the House? You think they want to lose the Senate? All they care about is their own career. Right now, backing Donald Trump is helping their career. But if they get a sense it's not helping their career, now it's a high bar, man. The House just votes for impeachment, and you just need a majority there. That can be done if the information is bad enough. But for the Senate, it's got to be 2/3 majority. So you require a ton of Republican senators to say enough is enough.
And they don't have the backbone to do it. And I have no faith in them whatsoever. I barely have any faith with the establishment Democrats. But one final part of this that I think is relevant and that you should know about. Now, Donald Trump forced Jeff Sessions to resign as Attorney General, but understand that for the most part, with the exception of recusing himself in the Russia investigation, Jeff Sessions did everything for Trump, and this is yet another example of that. So according to this reporting, Attorney General Jeff Sessions wrote to lawmakers following Trump's meeting with Jeanine Pirro, urging the president's allies in the House to inform them that federal prosecutors in Utah were examining whether to appoint a special counsel to investigate Clinton. Now, a spokesperson or spokeswoman for the United States Attorney for Utah declined to comment on this story. So you have Jeff Sessions, we gave him credit for recusing himself because it appeared that he cared about the law. He cared about doing the right thing, at least in that context. But it's abundantly clear from this story that when it came to other things that Trump tried to carry out, he did not really care about doing the right thing.
And at the end of the day, it still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
If you don't break every law that Donald Trump wants you to break, he's gonna throw you under a bus. It doesn't matter how conservative you are, it doesn't matter how Republican you are, it doesn't matter how much of an ally you are. Sessions was the first senator to back Donald Trump's campaign when no one else believed. Sessions said, I believe. Now Trump said, get out of here, man. You weren't loyal to me, you didn't break the law for me, and so, all right, I'm done with you. So that's how Donald Trump treats his allies. And so we're in a situation where our democracy is being tested. And Anna makes a fair point. I'm not sure we're gonna pass the test. So here we are, guys, in the worst of times for America. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.